welcome back to the channel. So today's question is the KDX200 at home in the desert bike? Well, I think depending on exactly what type of trail, what type of riding I'm doing, the answer would be yes. I think it could be. Now, if I'm trying to keep a blistering pace across the desert on some of these trails, the answer is no. Hence, why I think ultimately I am going to try and modify this KDX200 to be a little bit more comfortable across the desert at higher speeds. But that doesn't mean that this bike is not a great... Okay, go ahead and just take your time there. Doesn't mean that this bike isn't a great desert bike. This bike is well suited to a lot of these trails out here that I'm not going to be riding third, fourth, fifth gear. Riding mostly second and third gear. So today we're going to do just that. We're going to do the bulk of our riding on these smaller trails in second, third gear, just kind of getting into a groove and cruising around, just getting into the flow, which I think this bike, the way it's set up, stock, is great for just that. So let's get after it and see exactly what I mean. What I love about this bike as well is that it is not your normal two-stroke at all. Any hard blips of the throttle are not going to send you flying off the back. It's really not going to bring the front wheel up and scare the hell out of you. Which, you know, for anybody who's never really ridden two strokes, is a great feature. Or anybody new to riding. Power delivery is not like your standard two-stroke. Yeah. This is right where KDX belongs. It's all good. He didn't keep going straight. I was hoping. There we go. Let's go explore a little bit. Alright, it's made it. Well, yeah. As the title of the video is going to be labeled, this KDX two-stroke at home in the desert. And I think it can absolutely be a great bike for out here in stock form. Just depends on what you want to do. And I think the same can be said for any bike. What's your intended purpose with the bike? What kind of riding do you intend on doing? Cruising trails, getting into a nice little flow, double track, single track. This bike is fantastic. But I want to do a little bit more with this bike. I think its power delivery is so good. I think the amount of power that it has, where I'm comfortable riding, I think it's a great bike to modify to race at the novice or amateur level, which is probably where I'm at. So that's what I'm gonna do. Absolutely beautiful day today. What I absolutely love about my state of Nevada. Wide open country. No private land. Ride where you want. KDX really just comfortable, smooth, not too rough. Just enjoy the ride. Keep a fast pace. As it gets rockier, probably not going to continue to be as comfortable. And I know this trail doesn't get much rockier. Don't know how my son will do on it as it gets to that point, but he better stand up. He's going to learn just how bumpy his trail can get. rocky here. And again, soft suspension like this bike has actually soaks it up pretty darn good at these slower speeds. You start hitting it pretty fast, and the suspension's going to be working a lot harder. We'll be going through its full compression, getting a lot of hard hits, bottoming out, head shake. So quite surprised at how well my boy's riding today. He just started riding. First time ever hopped on a bike, dirt bike, was back in October. Well, he wouldn't make it 100 yards without getting so frustrated because he was spilling the bike every time he tried to go. So he's made some big improvements. I think a big part of it, well, I'd say a major part of it is the kind of bike. The first bike I got him was an RM80, which, kid's dirt bike, 2-stroke. Absolutely the wrong bike, 100% for the type of ride. And I think that was prohibitive to how much trouble he was having. Getting him his 4-stroke trail bike, night and day difference. Power delivery makes a world of difference. Uh-oh, they've gotten a little too bouncy for me. This is where standing up, looking out way past your handlebars, picking your route becomes really important. I can definitively say that this bike is absolutely at home out here on the West Coast in the desert. But with the limitation being the speed, the type of riding that you're doing. Out for an afternoon ride like this, perfect bike. Getting it in the vertical speed, no. It gets a little sketchy. Trying to race this through here, it's going to end up in a shallow rocky grade. Bouncing all over the place. So if this bike is known as the wood's weapon, I'd love to know where other places this bike excels. Obviously I live in the desert, and I know it can do really well out here. Where else have you guys ridden KDX? Where else does this bike excel? What kind of mods have you had to make for it to fit your specific riding style, your area, the type of riding that you like to do? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear. I know I don't have a ton of views yet, but more than anything, most of the KDX videos out there right now are all pretty dated. There's a couple of you out there. Gasso Greg, I think, has one. Great channel. He's got great rebuild going on with this bike. I enjoy watching it. As I mentioned, Gabe over the Torture Test magazine has put a ton of good content on this bike out there, but again, it's dated. But I think it definitely still applies, which is, again, really what led me to believe that this bike could be a fantastic bike out here in the desert west. Hence why I bought the bike. Great price, great bike. But I think this speed right here, cruising through the desert, not in a hurry, is where it's so comfortable to ride. It's so fun. Well, we've been out here almost an hour. It's doing all right.